There was a time our thinking was that we'll just have people donate our raw materials. Well, once you get into this process, you have to satisfy the FDA. And they don't want somebody over here bringing you 4 bags of beans and somebody over here bringing you 3 bags of beans. You've got to control your raw material coming in. And you have to be able to track that back to whoever. So that doesn't work very well either. The donated kind of products, even through the glean and that, we put out as fresh as it goes. Once you start processing, everything starts changing as far as the regs. And I think I told you on the tour, also, if you get into meat production, especially if you bring uncooked meat into your facility, now you've moved into the USDA realm, which adds a whole lot of regulation and challenge also. So like making a hamburger potato stew or something, you really bite off a lot more than you can imagine. Mm-hmm. We looked and thought, okay, we get so much of this product during, especially what we call the glean season through harvest season, and that's how we initially thought, let's get something and vacuum seal and let's freeze everything we get. Well, the challenge there is every product has to be processed, and as I told you on the tour, and I'll embarrass our operations guys again, every product takes a different kind of processing. And so we got a truckload of mushrooms once, and we didn't pre-cook them, and we started freezing them, and within a few days you could smell them a block away. It didn't work that way. So if you gear up to take mushrooms, because they're available right now, you have to buy the equipment to process those, and then yeah, you can freeze them and you'll extend shelf life. But then next year mushrooms are too expensive or not available at all, and your primary product coming in is zucchini. Well, what are we going to do with zucchini? Well, can you flash freeze it, or do you have to do something else? So and even the flash freezing process itself varies based on the product. And that's why, as we went through, and as I say, that's why we're good to talk to, because we made most of the mistakes to learn where we are. We decided it's better really to identify specific products and specific areas you can work in and let somebody else start working on that. That's why I discourage actually doing our own flash freezing. We have found that we can go through the system and bid on product because let's face it, the guys that have that equipment for profit, they're pushing a lot of that through and hoping that the market's going to take it. So there's always something available. So the focus on our local growers is through the harvest season, and we do 2 things. The first thing we do is we make it available to the member agencies that we have. The second thing we do is anything left over we make available to regional food banks around. So we try and push it through. We have to remember that harvest season's a matter of a few months here, and that's when we have that extra. Again, we started thinking we could extend shelf life and move that through the year, but with the variability in that, it's extremely difficult to do, and it'll be very capital intensive. Mm-hmm. And you will have equipment that is sitting there idle for periods of time until it can come back. And so our cost, and that's the beauty of this, with some of what we have seen, the money we would have invested there, we can gain that back so much in leveraging it in just buying the flash frozen product. Even if you contract with people that flash freeze, they know what they're doing. And once you start that process or start some of that, you've got to hire the people and you've got to keep them on board. We do have to hire people in our cannery, but we don't want to lose them to seasonality because they'd be hard to get back. We can't store it for people, that's for sure. There are people that say, you know, we'll buy 30 bins of corn and we want you to vacuum seal it, but we also would appreciate if you'd keep it for 2 years. And well, it doesn't work. Here's what we really look at. If you're going to store it long term, and I'm not sure there's a need to, then how much capital do you want to invest and what does it gain? I think our view has pretty much been there's availability of food. We aren't having to hedge our buys. You know, we aren't that big a volume. Almost any time, and because we don't care if we're packaging corn or peas, we aren't as vulnerable to those kind of market swings. We're the individuals that are going to eat this food are happy for whatever, and so different than somebody that's in a for-profit business that is canning specifically corn. If corn becomes very high priced, that we're going to switch to peas or whatever is available, and we're trying to have some kind of a mix anyway. So we felt right now there's not enough market risk. We'll have to, if we have to absorb pricing increases because we can't buy it in larger bulk and store it, then so be it. The other side of the coin is there's so much demand. We really don't need to store finished product. We just we could put out everything every day. So we've never had to face that side of it. I guess I wish we could. I wish we were meeting so much demand in the frozen areas or even the canned areas that they said no more right now, we'll be back in a month. But we've never run across that problem. So I guess the easiest way is to look at that is I'm not sure I would invest heavily the capital dollars in that. I wish we had a little more freezer space. We could do a little better with that. But I would leverage more of the dollars I'm doing on increasing the output that we have.